Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are making what I like to call skillet lasagna. Now, a few months ago, I posted a Reels on Instagram about this recipe. It was a little bit different because I didn't use any ground beef, and you could totally omit it if you want to. And I still, till this day, get so many DMs from people asking if I could show you like how to make an actual recipe so that you have the recipe to print and yada yada yada. This is so easy, and it's really the answer for when you're wanting a lasagna midweek and you just don't have the time nor the effort to do a slow cook lasagna. So let me show you how I do this. It's very simple, very, very simple. You want to use an oven safe, I'm using a shallow Dutch oven, but any large oven safe, high sided shallow skillet will do. And to that, you're going to add a little bit of olive oil. Now, I have my oven preheating to 375. I've got a pot here with some water that's going to come to a boil. The difference between this recipe and that recipe, like I said, is that I am using ground beef here, and I did not use ground beef in that recipe. I kept it just primarily just vegetarian, which you can. You could also sub the ground beef for like mushrooms and eggplant and zucchini. That would be so wonderful, especially in the summer months. But for this, I'm adding some ground beef because I really want to bulk it up, and we love it. My sister loves it. Mia will eat it, so it makes everybody happy. I'm using good old-fashioned riddles at the edges. You know what I'm saying? Like the beautiful, roughly edged lasagna sheets. These are not the no boil. You're going to want just the traditional boil lasagna sheets. And I cut them. I just break them. I don't cut them. I break them into pieces like this because I think that there is something about the texture of a flat noodle in this dish that really just sort of mimics a lasagna. You can absolutely use rigatoni, penne, ziti, whatever you want. But for me, this is really king, and I really like it. It just fits the vibe, right? So while that skillet preheats for the ground beef, which, by the way, you could certainly use a meatloaf mixture. You could use ground turkey if you wanted to. Whatever your heart desires. Add it in and break it up as much as you can with a wooden spoon. And you just want this to cook until it's about fully cooked. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep breaking apart these lasagna noodles. Okay, I'm just chopping up some aromatics because, you know, I'm using some pre-made marinara sauce that I already had in the fridge because I want to be able to add as much flavor as I can to this without a lot of time. But if you don't have any, just use a can of like crushed tomatoes. I want you to see something. My beef is very lean. There's not a lot of fat. You see this? Not a lot of fat. Very lean. If your beef wasn't as lean and you have some fat in there, that's fine. That's all good. You just wouldn't need to add any additional olive oil. But I do want to add a little chopped onion and garlic to the beef because when you're doing a quick dish, you really want to impart as much flavor as you can, and by adding some aromatics to the beef, which by the way I did season with a pinch of salt, it's just going to bump up that flavor and not make it taste so bland, right? So that plus the marinara sauce that already has its own aromatics, it already been simmered for a while, it's going to just add a lot of intense, beautiful richness to the dish. But like I said, if you don't have any marinara sauce, you can go ahead and use a can of crushed tomatoes. Just let it cook it longer than I'm going to let it cook for because I don't need to let my marinara simmer for any more than 10 minutes. So I just want the onion to cook down, soften. This will take about 5 minutes, and then we move on to the next step. Go ahead and add your marinara sauce. Now, this is just going to need to be kept on like a low simmer. It doesn't have to do anything wild because remember, you've already cooked it. You don't need to cook it to death any longer. It's going to be just fine, just letting it sit here and hang out. I'm going to add a pinch of Italian seasoning and then some fresh basil. The pasta water should be, let's see. It's not quite there yet. It's almost there. The oven's preheated. It's doing wonderful things. This is going to just sit here on low. The marinara is going to reheat. The flavors are going to bloom. It's going to do wonderful things. When that water starts to boil, which hopefully it's going to be any minute now, I'm going to drop in my broken up pieces of lasagna pasta, and that's just going to cook for like 7 minutes. I want it to be al dente because it's going to go into the oven and I don't want it to get it too mushy. Otherwise, it's gonna just lose any texture whatsoever, which we don't like. So, you know, I'll keep an eye on it, and when it's ready, I will show you the next step. All right, it's been about 7 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and just transfer the lasagna sheets. They're a little bit al dente, a little more al dente than you would want them, but remember, they're going in the oven. They're gonna continue to bake, so you don't wanna overcook them. Otherwise, it's gonna be mushy and lose any and all texture. So I just use a little kitchen spider here to get everything out. Beautiful. Give everything a stir because you really wanna make sure that that pasta is coated well with the sauce. Now here's all I do. I take ricotta. You just do dollops all around. You don't have to worry about mixing it with an egg. You don't have to worry about spreading it out in between layers, which, listen, we love a traditional lasagna. It is home, it is comfort, it is something that we all, you know, if you grew up eating it, it's very much like a nostalgic thing for you. You think of Sundays with your family. I get all that. I love all of that, but I don't always have time for that. That's when this comes in handy because you really do get the look and feel of lasagna. And then I take fresh mozzarella, nice big hunks of it, and I just tear it up like so. Do not use the pre-shredded stuff. It is just not going to do you any favors. I can guarantee you. It's not going to melt. It's not going to ooze. It's not going to give you that gorgeous golden brown on the top. It's just not going to do a whole lot. Then you need Parmigiano. And the Parmigiano directly on top of the ricotta too. It does season it with a little salt, which is really nice because ricotta can be quite bland. All over the top, like so. Now like a little bit of black pepper on the very top. And then the whole thing goes into the oven that we've had preheating to 375. Trying to feel for how hot it is. I don't know, let's say 20 minutes. You know how home cooking is. Could take more, could take less. I'll keep an eye out for you. And I will report back. That looks fantastic. And to be honest, you should probably wait until it's like a golden brown top, but I didn't want to have you miss out on that cheesy pull. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do that to you. I kind of wanted to show you a little bit of the cheesy goodness. You know, it's kind of my favorite. What's also really good though is all those little brown bits around the edges that get all gooey, but I love me a gooey cheese. I need some of this cheese though. On this piece. Definitely serve it with extra cheese when you serve it. You know, grated cheese. Hot though, so hold on. Hot. Oh yeah. It's so hot though. All of the cozy Sunday vibes, fraction of the time, customizable. It's just sort of an idea to get you through the week. You want something that's really hitting home and making you feel like dinner is something spectacular, but time and patience is of the essence. This is it. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Tailor it to however you like. Some salsiccia in here would be phenomenal. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.